20th meeting of the Conestoga Valley Board of School Directors. Will you please join me in the pledge to the flag? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We want to welcome everyone that's here tonight and those that are joining us online. Mrs. Martin, could we have a attendance, please?
6 school board members present tonight. Mr. Gensel and Mr. Benigno absent. Mr. Talley is currently absent, expected to arrive shortly.
Thank you. And we also have the superintendent and his cabinet in attendance. This is our second meeting of the month where most official votes are taken and many of which are listed on the agenda, which includes those items which are routine or have been discussed at our work session last week. Our meetings observe the requirements of the school code, legislative directives, the original Act 84 Sunshine Law, all subsequent amendments, judicial rulings, applicable regulations, and our own district policies to the best of our understanding and ability. All agenda items and related public documents are posted on the district website. Are there any changes, corrections, additions, or deletions for tonight's agenda?
Madam President, there are some on the superintendent's report as noted in red. You'll see them on the screen behind me. After the agenda was posted on Friday, we were able to finalize the following. The hiring of Melissa Reed as Ken's new administrative assistant to the Director of Operations, taking over for Julie Kobe. Julie had been previously approved as our new PIMS and data specialist. We also received the resignation of Jessica Patton, a first grade teacher at Fritz, and one from Ashton Martin, the assistant athletic trainer at the high school. And we also added the winter postseason coaching stipend so we can pay the coaches for their postseason work with our student athletes. But they are all noted in red on the superintendent's report.
Are there any others? If not, could I have a motion to approve the agenda with those changes?
So moved.
A second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? If not, the agenda is approved. We will start with board commendations. As soon as I can find them. Congratulations to seniors Ethan Miller and Connor Lugwood, who captured first place at the 2003 Student Keystone Media Awards in the podcast category, Quick Pit Podcast, a NASCAR podcast by high school scholars who plan on going into the sports media world. The Student Keystone Media Awards contest recognizes high school and college journalism that provides relevance, integrity, and initiative in serving readers. The Conestoga Valley High School Science Department held its traditional STEM Expo during, Creative Minds Expo on January 19th. Students competed in 5 STEM categories, and the following winners were first place Biology, Kerry Kunjapu, first place Chemistry, Danae Ulrich, first place Earth Science and Environmental Science, Karen Culp, first place Human Behavior, Sophia Weiss, first place Physics, Engineering, and Math, Jonathan Chen, and the grand champion was Jonathan Chen, with the second place overall champion, Noah Armstrong. And I'm going to skip to they were followed by congratulations to those who followed up at March 9th as the North Museum 71st Science and Engineering Fair. Nearly 200 students in grades 6 through 12 from 20 schools across Lancaster County took part. At Millersville University, projects were on display to the public for several hours on Thursday afternoon, before judges announced the winners. They are Morgan Martin, Biochemistry and Biomedical Science, Diane Ulrich, Earth and Environmental Science, Nolan Armstrong, Environmental and Engineering Technology, Ryan Slezak, Physics and Astronomy. They were all honorable mentions. In third place was Rachel Tsai, Earth and Environmental Sciences, and in second place were Kerry Kunjapu, Animal and Behavior Science, Micah Aldrich, Computational Biology, Mathematics and Robotics, Caroline Culp, Earth and Environmental Sciences, and Jonathan Chen, Energy. Very impressive list from our science department. On March 6th, Giant Food Source presented Conestoga Valley School District with a check totaling $4,127.39 to help feed students in the district as part of the company's Feeding School Kids Roundup program, which has supported school districts in addressing childhood hunger by raising money at checkout. In January and February, customers throughout the community could round up their purchases in the donations, and Giant Food Stores tallied and distributed the money across local districts. We want to thank Giant and the community for supporting CB students. Congratulations to 2 senior girls basketball players who were named to the Lancaster Lebanon League II All-Star team. Rhiannon Henry was the LL League Section 2 First Team All-Star and All-Defensive Team honoree, while Yazzie Norris was named to the LL League Section 2 All-Academic Team. Congratulations to senior basketball players who received 2 All-Star recognitions at the Lancaster Lebanon League. Griffin Rochelle was named to the first team, and Tanner Peterson landed a spot on the second team. And that's it. Superintendent's comments.
Thank you, Madam President. Just when you thought we were done hiring educators, and speaking with other superintendents, we believe that while March through May timeframe is the busy part for hiring educators, we now believe that year-round hiring will be the new norm. As such, we are very fortunate to introduce a late-year, high-quality educator who will be making a positive impact on our students. Mauricio Trejo Garcia, Mauricio's commitment to having his students learn not only la lengua, the language, but also la cultura, the culture embraced by Spanish-speaking countries, is what sets Mauricio apart. As a native Spanish speaker, he experienced the ups and downs of learning a foreign language. By learning American culture, he was able to better understand and assimilate the English language. He is a graduate of the University of Pittsburgh-Greensburg, where he earned his bachelor's degree in Spanish, and followed that up with a master's degree in teaching and instruction and learning foreign language education. We are extremely excited to welcome Mauricio to the middle school. Rachel's shaking her head, yeah. Where he will be teaching Spanish 1 to our 8th graders. Welcome to our newest buckskin. Bienvenido, Mauricio. I've never seen a principal so excited about sending a candidate to the final round as I did with Rachel. She's like, he's the one. I'm like, okay, let's find out. And he truly was, so welcome, Mauricio. Just a heads up, you'll see some sabbatical information on the agenda. Just to let you know that there are 2 types of sabbaticals. There's one through the collective bargaining agreement where the district pays full salary for half a year. Those are eligible for 2 of our employees to apply for, and there's a selection criteria that is followed every year. The other one is a school code sabbatical. Any teacher can take that sabbatical. That's a half pay, half year. So it's half the pay what we would do with our special sabbaticals. So that's why sometimes you'll see more than 2 sabbaticals for approval in our board agenda. But the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, those are all half pay, half year, or it could be half pay, full year. That's all for tonight, Madam President.
Okay, are there any board comments on district activities? If not, do we have any correspondence? No. Then we will move on to the public professional staff report. Dr. Z.
This is so cool. All right. Katrina, I'm gonna ask you to come up. And this is Katrina Krasinski. She's our nurse over at Leola. And another very important person is also in that. Should we bring Terry up here?
Yes.
All right, Terry, come on up, sir. On December 13th, 2022, longtime Leola custodian Terry Hurst suffered a major heart attack while at school. Fortunately for Terry, Leola's school nurse, Katrina Krasinski, was on duty. Katrina immediately sprang into action, administering CPR and directing others to get the AED machine in to call 911. Katrina continued to administer life-saving techniques until the arrival of the emergency medical services. Thanks to Katrina's actions under the most trying of situations, Terry was given a fighting chance for survival as he was placed in the ambulance. The doctors who worked on Terry all agreed that if not for the timely, professional, and proper life-saving techniques administered by Katrina, the situation would not have ended well. As it is, Terry has made a successful recovery, and despite a temporary setback while initially at the hospital, Terry called Leola. Like he's on the hospital bed making sure that Leola is okay.
Monday morning, 7:30.
Making sure.
Yes.
He was worried that the faculty, staff, and students were worried about him, and he just wanted to reassure them that he would be back. True to his word, he stopped in, probably sooner than the doctors wanted him to, in order to show Leola that he was gonna be okay, that he is okay. It's great seeing him back full-time at Leola, not just as our custodian, but part of the Leola family. This positive ending was made possible to the level-headed, decisive actions taken by a humble person who just wants everyone to be happy. Thanks to Katrina Krasinski, Terry's alive and well and able to make a positive difference every day. The Board of Directors of the Conestoga Valley School Board would like to add their gratitude to that of Mr. Herr and his family. Katrina's exemplary reaction in a stressful life or death situation reflects positively on her professionalism, her dedication, and her commitment to help others. CVSD is very proud of Katrina. Her actions epitomize the tenets of character, commitment, and community. Thank you, Katrina, for making a positive difference.
I just want to say, the miracle is standing beside me, and I'm so happy that he's here. And we are all trained, and we are all dedicated to the people around us, and it makes us a team. And the hardest part was when Terry left in the ambulance, not knowing if you were going to be okay. And I thank my husband for supporting me so much because it was really scary. But when I got to work the next day, because I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, Terry called, and it was just the most best feeling in the whole world. And every day I work, I'm always happy to go find Terry to say hello, or he'll find me. So.
Yeah, without Katrina, I won't be here to see you guys now, because I told her that I owe her my life. The first time when I felt down, I don't know what's going on. I just black out, and then the first time I heard her voice call my name, Terry, and then I saw her very far away, like an angel. Up there, and then a couple seconds later, then I think I probably just come back to my full life, and then I can see that everybody surround me, looking down on me, and I was so happy. But I also noticed that what happened to me, you know, because I don't have any symptom or anything, I don't know what's going on, and then I thanks Katrina for the quick response, because if she had not been there for a few more minutes, I don't think I'll be able to stand right here in front of you guys. So I thank her and I thank God for everything that happened, and that's a big lesson for me to learn that life is very important, and also that you had to have somebody like her to be there at the right time to give you a chance to live. So thank you, and thank you everybody for to have me here.
And and Lisa Smith is the VIA coordinator. She was in the lunchroom. She works in the lunchroom, and she called 911 first. And then Doris Lehman sprinted to get me. And so 911 was activated first, and that is the best scenario for everybody. So that was a miracle in itself too. So thank you.
Thank you.
I will add that we are lucky to have both of these employees. I've known Terry around for some time, and he's a very special man to all of our students. I'm ready to go home after that. I don't think we can meet that. This is the point in the meeting where anyone from the public who would like to address the board on something that's on the agenda is welcome to do so. If not, are there any comments from CVEA? None? Any other employee groups? If not, we will get on with the business of this meeting, the first of which is the consent agenda, items A through Q. I keep thinking this will get smaller, and it doesn't. Are there any questions before we take a motion? If not, I will take a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Motion to approve the consent agenda. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. If there are no questions, we will have a roll call vote.
Mr. Dillman,
Aye.
Mrs. Kapka,
Aye.
Mr. Hurst,
Aye.
Dr. Martin,
Aye.
Ms. Trowbridge,
Aye.
and Mrs. Groff.
Aye. Consent agenda is passed, and the next will be Dr. Mann and Dr. Kozer coming, just Dr. Kozer this evening, coming back after last week's presentation with the contract.
Good evening, everyone. So last week, we went through our presentation outlining the curriculum project that we'll be undertaking. Wanted to give you time to process if you had any questions for us this evening. And then we do have the 3 contracts in front of you that we will be looking for approval this evening. The IU13 contract is split into the days remaining up from now until June 30th. And then the second contract goes July 1 through June 30th of 2024. And then the third piece there is the EduPlanet 1-year initial implementation of their software as well. So any questions between last week and this week? Anything that you would like to have clarified?
Could you explain how IU is related to this? I wasn't quite aware of that last time.
Yes, so this is the contract for, calling it basically the project manager, because this is such a big lift across multiple departments, multiple grades. We know we're gonna need that additional person who's completely dedicated to arranging all of the work groups, tracking where all of the different curriculum pieces are, and just keeping the project moving at the pace that we're hoping to implement.
Well, do we get the contract through IU Connections, or is they just happen to have someone that's knowledgeable in this program?
So the IU, the Education Services team, was actually getting some of the training through the J. McTime Modern Learning curriculum at the same time that we were starting to have those initial conversations. And so it lines up perfectly. Their Ed Services staff were already on this adventure. We came along saying, hey, I think this is where we're gonna go. And so it just worked out that we would be able to, it's a win-win. They have one of their consultants now who works with the district, who's putting this framework into action, but then we also get the comprehensive support, not just from the one consultant, but from the rest of the Ed Services team as well.
Okay. Any questions?
Can you remind me what the EduPlanet is?
The EduPlanet was the online software piece. We had one slide where there you could kind of see the different tabs with math, science, social studies. So this would be the public-facing software where anyone can go click on a subject, grade level, see what the curriculum is. But then behind the scenes, it's the really robust system where our teachers will be going in to access their curriculum documents and their units of study.
Thank you.
I have a question on the EduPlanet. It says at the top of the quote, this pricing for a first year subscription, but then in the curriculum blueprint, it has a 6-month subscription. Is this the whole year, or is that just?
It is.
We're gonna get it every 6 months for the first year?
Nope, the 6-month piece is when you have initial implementation, we won't actually have, the curriculum blueprint is the public side of things.
Right.
So we won't have that ready to lift off until about 6 months into the project.
Okay.
So they're only charging us for what we would actually use of that particular component.
Okay. And do you know what the ongoing, a guesstimate, I guess, because we don't know what charge are gonna be
Mhm.
going forward? with EduFlyer?
Yep, so it will be about $25,000 annually. Currently, we're using Ed Insight as that warehouse, and so those two will end up with a little bit more with the updated program. But when we let go of that Ed Insight curriculum piece, it will help compensate for that annual charge.
Any other questions? We're looking for approval of these contracts.
I so move.
Second. I'm sorry, who was second?
You have a roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Capco?
Aye.
Mr. Hurst?
Aye.
Dr. Martin?
Aye.
Ms. Trowbridge?
Aye.
Mr. Dillman?
Aye.
Mrs. Groff?
Aye.
Thank you.
All set together for next year, right?
That's great, yep.
Okay,
Thank
thank you. Here's the big piece on the agenda. As part of our comprehensive policy review, we have not all, but a lot of the 300 series being presented. I hope you had a chance to at least look at them. I'm going to start with the one that doesn't match the other ones. Could we please just first have a motion to approve policy 123?
This is approving the updated new
Oh, yes.
version
Yes,
of it.
yes.
First reading.
I move we approve 123.
Thank you.
I second it.
We have roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hurst?
Nay.
Dr. Martin?
Aye.
Ms. Trowbridge?
Aye.
Mr. Dillman?
Aye.
Mrs. Capco?
Aye.
Mrs. Groff?
Aye. Thank you. That passes. Now, what we're going to do with all the rest of these is we're going to go down them one at a time in order. If you're fine with it, we'll just pass right on. If you want to stop and ask a question about it, make a change, have a problem, then we'll decide if it's a change that could be voted on and it's minor enough to take a first reading and we would show up as second reading next month, or if we need to take it back out completely and rewrite it.
Before you do that,
Yes.
because I noticed for like 300 through 332, there were 3 on the their cross-reference section that is missing.
Yes, there are several that are missing. I think those are all ones that we have to have our own
Internally as
solicitors.
a team,
To look
to
at.
take a look whether we need solicitor review was our main reason why we pulled those. I think there was 4 of them that we pulled.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't
Yeah,
missing.
they were intentionally
I
pulled.
went through that too. Where is this? Where is it? Yeah. So it just seems easiest just to start at the top and work down, okay? Number 300, we're asking to retire. Any problem with that? Number 301, I have a problem with that one. When a new position is formed, the administrative guidelines let the superintendent know how to go about that. This policy lets the board know what their responsibility is and what information they should have. So I would like added to that when a new position is being proposed, the presentation identify the revised organizational chart, the position on the compensation plan, as well as a copy of the job description as a requirement for us to approve. I'll let Dr. Z tell me if he thinks that's significant enough for to,
No, we can easily make that change
okay.
That
So that would be approved today as a first reading.
with
Okay,
that change, yep.
with that change.
Mhm.
302, I think page 4 is missing on that one. Is that, it was blank, it seemed to stop abruptly before you went down another page to the footnotes.
Could we come back to that one while?
Sure, okay. 304, any problems or questions? 304.1, 306 to be deleted. New 306 to be approved. 307 to be retired. The new 307 to be approved. I will stop for just a moment on this one. I had some concern about missing definitions, and some I could find and some I couldn't. Just to let you know that I sometimes think these definitions of terms or positions should be there, but it's not significant enough to hold it.
I did have a quick question. On 307 getting deleted, it says it's now located in draft policy 104.
Yeah,
Where, I couldn't find that anywhere.
that's
Where is that at?
104. What's the name of 104 offhand?
Discrimination, Title IX, sexual harassment affecting staff.
We have that a couple different places.
We don't have 104 because we haven't hit the 100 yet. That's where it will be placed in 104.
And right now it's,
Let me check.
So we're deleting this,
Let me double
but
check.
it's now
Yeah.
located in a
Active.
draft policy?
Hang on.
Yeah, it doesn't have a safety net.
104 is here for the non-discrimination in employment.
Yeah, it wasn't coming up
When you
under mine.
when you go to policies,
Yeah,
that's under the active.
yeah, you've got three different sets. Sometimes I couldn't find what I wanted, and some of the wording that was changed, you can see the old, others you can't see the old.
when I click on policies, it doesn't,
Don't you get a drop down
yeah, it
menu?
does once I double click on it. Oh, okay. I did not see that, that's why.
It's
And then when
okay.
you go into
Okay.
draft, it'll be the 300.
And then it would be there. Okay, I see that now. I was gonna say, cause it wasn't showing up, but that was
That
on
was
active.
307 retiring, right?
So, yes, but then we're retiring like this before this draft, is this draft one in effect?
The old one would still be in effect, yeah,
The old one will still be there as well.
until the new one's.
Until the new one is finalized?
Yes. Right.
Okay, I just
Okay.
wanna make sure we're not deleting this one and then
Having nothing.
having nothing until the other one gets
Yeah,
approved.
now the worst we'll have
Okay.
is two at once.
Okay,
They
just
both
wanna
say
make
the
sure.
same thing in different words, okay.
Thank you.
And
Can I back
307,
up to 306? Now, it looks to me like they're both retired.
306 is deleted, and then there's a 306, it's a new one.
When you look at,
I
here's
see them both as retired.
306, employment of summer school staff. And then 306, the one's retired. Uh-oh, you just pressed something.
Yeah, I did.
Touch the screen.
I did. I'm looking at
For
this.
those that are
part,
wondering
delete
why
or
it's so confusing,
retire,
we have three
and
different
then retire
documents
For both of
with
them.
information about these and
We don't have
cross-referencing
summer
them.
school staff,
Okay.
so we can delete or retire that one. It does not apply.
Technically, probably 306, the summer school.
Summer
would be
school one.
Deleted, because that was the one
Right.
they were proposing to us, and we don't have that program.
Right. So we were gonna retire it, not delete it. And the difference between retire and delete, retire is temporary, it can always come back, delete
Come back,
is,
yes.
it's off the books.
Okay.
So our recommendation for 306 would be to retire that one. We do not have a summer school program, but if we ever did, we could bring that policy back. And we haven't had one in, gosh, who's been here? Michelle, you've
It's
been
been
here
a
a
long
while.
time, it's been a long time.
We haven't had summer school here in,
Over 10 years.
At least,
okay, so we'll retire the new 306.
okay. 307 is to be retired. The new 307 is to be accepted. 308. 308.1 retired. 309 retired. New 309. 309.1 is on your summary, but it's not on the agenda. Just to make sure we all know that's still being carried over.
Yes.
311. 312 retired. New 312 approved. 313 retired. New 313. The only problem I had with that was when they talk about periodic review. I don't know how often a periodic review is.
The periodic is set by school code and PDE,
Oh, is it? Oh,
and it's established in our evaluation observation program that every
okay.
teacher
As
gets.
long as somewhere it's there.
Yep,
314 is missing on the agenda.
yes.
We're skipping that one. A new 314 is there. 314.1, we're retiring 316, 317, approving a rewritten 317, 317.1. 318 is optional, and we decided we needed that one. 319 is another one that's missing on the agenda, as is 320. 321 is being retired. A new 321 is proposed. 322. I will mention one thing, we also have a separate policy elsewhere that covers donations and memorials. 323 is being retired. And a new 323 is in place. 324, I have two with that number, I'm not sure why that is.
The non-school activities is being retired. The personnel file is being approved.
Oh, I see the difference. But they both say 324, but one's being retired, but usually when they retire,
As
whoever
far as-
picks that number has sort of the same name. But this is
Yeah.
completely different, that's where I got lost.
Well, that's what I was thinking with military and
Three-
tobacco.
325, 326, 327 is being retired. And where else? 328. 329 should be being retired. I'm sorry, 28 had one retired and a new one. 329 is retired. 330 is retired. New 330 approved. 331 is retired. 330, a new one, 331 is put in its place. And 332 was optional. Isn't that in the collective bargaining unit? What's in 332? I sometimes
It's
get
not-
lost between what we really need to have in this and what we can leave elsewhere.
It's not just for professional stuff, I don't know, it's also for support
okay.
employees. And it talks about their yearly calendar, like what are your vacation days, what are your off
Okay.
days?
Then as far as I remember, all of those are either being retired or approved as presented with one addition to 301. We're all on the same page with this? Then I would like a motion to approve first reading as these were reviewed.
Motion to approve the first reading.
I second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We'll see them again next
Aye.
month.
I have a better appreciation for the superintendent after reading these.
And these aren't all of them.
The superintendent knows what he's doing. With these and all the rest of them, my goodness.
Yeah, well, that's why the job description has so many line items in it.
And if we could, I'd like to throw a shout out to Tom Richard, he was the CVEA rep who sits in that meeting and has gone over
Yes.
with Nina from HR and then Mark Gensel as well.
These are among the
Thank
most
you.
complicated of our policies.
Yes,
I think
yes.
so. And we still have more of them to go through in this
Halfway
section.
home.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Z, do you want to review the equity audit proposal?
You bet. We sent out proposals actually 2 times. The first time we sent it out, and the quality was poor. That's being nice. And so we reached out again and sent out another proposal for information. We got 3 back, and of the 3, Dr. Breland's group, the TESO consulting group was by far the best one that we received. We did reference checks on them, and the individuals or the organizations that I contacted that use TESO, the one word that came across was partnership. And if you actually looked at the request for information, you see that the examples they gave are different, and they are tailored to the districts that they worked with. So it is much more expensive than the other ones, but with ESSER funds cutting it about in half, we have the money to cover the other half built into the budget. So this is a 6-month process with it ending in October, and they'll hit the ground running. But again, the key word is partnership. They will see how we're gonna do it, what we're gonna do, and they're gonna work with us step by step, every step of the way.
Will we be getting interim reports or just? a
Interim
final
reports,
report?
yes. And you'll also be getting interim reports from the team.
Any
From the
questions?
3 examples I saw,
Mhm.
it looked like there were different things that they looked at in the 3 schools. So we could customize
Yes,
it.
100%.
Okay, so it's not like a standard,
No,
here, we decide what information we're looking for.
yes.
What, okay,
No, they have proprietary surveys that they use to send out to gather the information on what we want to get them, what
Right.
information we want. And then once we gather that, it is truly CV specific.
and who's deciding that?
Well, there's an administrative
Right, there's-
team with, Dr. Martin is on that
Right,
committee as well. So that's gonna be that first team that meets with Dr. Breland's team, and then it expands from there.
and then I saw those focus groups and all that kind of stuff, that, they all have input as
Oh,
far
yes.
into as what we're looking for and
100%.
everything, correct, okay.
Yeah, this is not a top-down survey, and it's not a TESO program.
Okay,
This is truly, what do we need, and how are you gonna help us get there? And that's
okay.
what their job is.
And then in comparison to, you said there was 2 other ones,
Mhm.
and
Those
I'm
choices.
not questioning you by any means, I'm just,
Sure you
you're
are.
saying, no, I'm making sure I understand you correctly. Because of the cost difference and stuff, you're saying that it's definitely worth it and there was no
Well,
question between,
Yeah, there was 3.
That-
One was, we could have put that with the first group, or we had to go back and resubmit. That was,
okay,
it was not quality at all. The second one was more of a cookie cutter, and they were driving it, and this is what we're gonna do, and this is how we're gonna do it, and this is the information you're gonna get.
okay,
So,
And the end product was not
no, it
super.
was,
okay. Yeah, I don't wanna pay less money for something that's useless, I also
Yeah.
don't wanna overpay for something that I don't need
More
to.
than we need.
I
So that's
I
what-
asked the
that's what I'm
question
making
about the
sure.
sticker shock to the districts that I contacted.
Right,
I said, that's sticker shock, and they're like, it's
Yeah.
well worth it.
okay.
So, and they didn't even hesitate.
And then this is, essentially, they come back with their findings and our steps and stuff, and then at that point, the,
If we want to.
It's severed, like-
It is, if we want to continue with them in another capacity.
right, but it's on us then at that point to
Right, of how-
take those steps
how
and
we're
move
gonna-
forward.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Is this going to be in any way tailored for each building, because our demographics
It
sometimes
is, it is
vary.
gonna be building, because they're gonna look at, there's different cultures in each building.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna be district-wide as well,
Dr. Martin,
I'm
your
excited
answer for
about
this
this.
could be.
yeah,
It's cool though, I love
Yeah, it is. It's gonna be interesting to see what they come up
good
with.
data.
though. It will be great data.
Great.
Is their team building specific, or is the same team doing each building?
We haven't met with them yet to see how they're gonna break up.
I'm just wondering, it's tailored to the buildings, but I certainly wouldn't want one group to be doing something completely different than
Yeah,
other people within.
No, I wouldn't anticipate that would be the case.
Okay.
There's some like homogeneity to it.
Yeah.
And then there's some like individualized
Okay.
pieces to it. Yeah, does that make
Okay.
sense?
And we'll be getting updates, right?
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
We'll add you to the agenda.
And this is being covered partly by ESSERS,
at least half.
half.
Are we ready?
That was the one that started with 130,
That's
right?
the one. Yep, that is the one.
I need a motion, don't I?
Motion to approve the equity audit proposal.
Second,
We have a roll call, please. For so much money, we have to have a roll call.
Dr. Martin,
Aye.
Ms. Trowbridge,
Aye.
Mr. Dillman.
Aye.
And Mrs. Kapka,
Aye.
Mr. Hurst,
alright,
and Mrs. Groff.
Aye. And now get down to something more earthy.
But This is an automatic,
Mr. Johnson, are you rested, Mr. Johnson?
it's not an automatic grass cutter?
It's not an automatic grass cutter.
It has been a long day, I assume.
All those seem to be coming, but I don't know, something about some big machine with a lot of swinging blades going out there on its own. That's something I wanna know somebody has under control.
Yeah.
It's not one of those little Roombas that runs around your,
Yeah, see,
yard
you-
there, so,
Yeah, you can get those for your home yard, but
you can,
that's fine if you
yes.
live on a perfectly square lot with no
Yeah.
shrubbery and no
Actually,
potholes.
we do have one.
Do we really?
I have it for the courtyard here at the high school.
Oh, too hard to get machine in there.
It is, and it's just, to leave one out there kind of clutters up the area, and this way it kind of does its own thing, and we can kind of leave it do its own thing, so. It's either that or we have an invisible fence out there so we can put dogs out there, I don't know. Sheep, there we go, sheep, that'll work. It is Lancaster County, so we could do sheep or goats or, yeah.
Well, and they could be therapy pets as well, calming.
Are we about to
We're
turn
going
this
down a
contract
rabbit hole
down?
Let's talk about the
Yep,
landscaping.
so mowing, so every 3 years, we bid out our mowing contract for the properties. We've been doing just the elementaries. Last year, I'd gotten a separate price to do the old middle school. We did not take that at that time because it was still active as a middle school. This year, my recommendation is we do take that bid. That takes a little bit of property. It's that parcel, if I don't include the softball fields that are there, works out to be about 15 acres. Now, a good bit of it's parking and building, but still that area is about 15 acres. So it's comparable in size to like Smoketown or, a property of that nature. So, the pricing, I was a little floored when I opened the first two bids, how close they were. Seasons Image was pretty much our incumbent for at least the past 3 contracts, so he was a little upset that he didn't get it, but I have done some due diligence. I reached out to the CTC. Lancaster CTC uses DWD landscaping at all 4 campuses. Effort Area School District also uses them, and there was a third one on there. West Lampeter Township also uses them. I did not hear back from anybody at West Lampeter Township, but gentlemen at Effort had no issues. So I got good reviews from them. They're a local company. They're actually from New Providence. They're moving their location up to West Lampeter Township. So relatively close, to us. So numbers were good. I looked at it where the numbers were previously, and you figure with fuel cost and everything else, the increase, the numbers are very competitive. So, and I know Hack also recently put out a bid for their mowing contract, which I also understand DWD won that as well. So they're gonna be local to us and mowing. Based off the amount of equipment they have, at least 30 guys working for them. They've got a lot of mowing going on and a lot of activity. So I don't see any issue with them not doing a good job for us. So
And it'll be friendly with our new little robot that does the lines on top of it.
yeah, I would think so, yep. So
Any questions? We'll take a motion for this, please.
Motion to approve the mowing contract, please.
Second,
Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Trowbridge,
Aye.
Mr. Dillman.
Aye.
Mrs. Kapka,
Aye.
Mr. Talley,
Aye.
Mr. Hirsch,
Aye.
Dr. Martin.
Aye.
Mrs. Brock.
Aye.
all right, thank you very much.
Our next agenda items are the Finance and Operations Report. Are there any questions or comments? Any concerns or comments on the Curriculum and Instruction Report? Dr. Z, do we have any federal funds?
Not tonight?
Okay, we're down to the IU and PSBA, Lancaster County Academy. I posted those don't know if anyone has any questions. The only difference might be the academy now is, the tuition for next year might be lower than what I put in my report. We're not sure yet. CTC, anything happening over there of interest?
Not tonight. We have a meeting, we always have the meeting on Thursday after this meeting, so it's like
Was there anything good
bad
last month?
timing. Well, I wasn't able to make the last one, so.
Okay. Construction team update.
Just that the work at the new Smoketown is progressing along well. There's still lead time concern with the switchgear, but the team's continuing to monitor that very closely, see what options we have.
And we just got that email today.
I'm sorry, I didn't see it.
It's now looking at December
The 23.
23.
Yeah, so
That's good news.
we've got some
That's great
good
news.
news. The last date we were hearing on the switchgear was May of 24.
Right.
Which puts it about 5 months past where we were supposed to be complete. So now, they're still leaving the old switchgear in place, and they won't actually start doing a switch over until they know that that new equipment is there. So they have a game plan currently to make sure all the new equipment is powered up, whether it's off of the old switchgear or the new switchgear, but everybody's planning ahead for that, so we're not gonna end up with not having power in the building to anything. So, but yeah, the date today was like prior to Christmas, so, of 23, so that was some good news, hopefully it holds, so.
The one thing that the construction team did talk about was trying to arrange a date for the entire board to get together and go through both buildings, the new middle school and new Smoketown, just to take a walk through. The thought was to do it during the school day so that the board could be present in the building when teachers and staff are there. We're looking at sometime during the week of April 17th to try to arrange that. Haven't set a date yet,
Right.
but certainly as soon as we do, we'll get that out to everyone.
At the middle school, the gym floor's been completed, striping, all that's done, it's been completely finished. Nice CV logo right in the center,
That's a good place
Center's
for
good.
it.
and the center's good, so, waiting on the bleachers to arrive. So that's pretty much the
Assuming that we
last.
thought that floor was going to get done, isn't it? At one time, we were thinking that floor was going to be put off sometime longer, didn't we?
There was that, but they were able to get once the temperatures in the space were where they could bring the flooring in, the flooring arrived, they acclimated it, and once the material was there, it did not take them long to install.
Good.
And how's the paneling going up?
Paneling's continuing, doing a nice job on that, so. And the dinosaur's been dressed out this past weekend, other flooring's been getting wrapped up, stair treads and on the learning stairs, things like that, they were working all weekend.
So that's why we want to get the board to the building. to
Punch
see the
list getting
improvements.
shorter all the time,
Sure,
except what you add to it.
exactly.
Okay, are there any other board reports? If not, it's that time in the meeting when, if there's still anyone else that would like to address the board? If not, does the board have any initiatives or concerns it would like to bring up? Your dates are listed there for next month. Please note that, well, you do know the forum has been canceled for this one, but we are hoping to have a forum for next month. We'll get that information out. If there's nothing more to be added, I will take a motion to adjourn to executive session for legal and personnel reasons.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
When there are nays, we are